Now it's working. I just had to put the button on the on position, actually. And it was quite simple, but...
It is not that always simple.
Sorry for that. So I'm really delighted to welcome you now. As Richard was saying, you're in charge of research and product development at Tencent. Tencent, for many people here, of course, everybody knows Tencent on site at the conference. For our online audience, probably quite a few, but most of the people might not have heard of Tencent. When Tencent is actually, as I was saying in my opening speech, the third largest market cap in internet business, right after Google and Amazon. And we will discover with you that basically their business model has nothing to do with Amazon, with Google. Actually, their business model has nothing to do with any other company in the world. So if this is not innovation 100% Chinese, so we'll discover that. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You were living in the US before, I understood?
Yes. I think my name is a little bit hard. I think it takes a little time and to get my name and still not pronounced right. Anyway, so my name is Yuguo Liu. I grew up in China and moved to US in the late 90s and started my career at Microsoft in the Seattle office.
Seattle, yeah.
Yes. I spent several years in US in working on Windows Server, Windows Mobile, and Office Live. China is growing so fast, and after several years, I decided to move back. That's year 2006. I moved back to China and continued working at Microsoft to help set up the Search Technology Center in Beijing to working on Bing. So I guess everybody know Bing is kind of trailing Google and catch up in the search business. So that's pretty much. And last year I joined Tencent, which is the #1 internet company in China and #3 globally in terms of market cap.
So I was reading recently an article on Tencent, which was stating something that really blew my mind. It was stating that over 60% of the staff of Tencent is actually working in R&D.
That's right. I think lots of people who are in China or overseas using QQ think about Tencent is only a small company and working on some like gaming or virtual goods and online entertainment related stuff. But actually the company has kind of expanded to a much bigger portfolio. And that's where we are always focusing on research and development, looking for technology to bring the real value to our customers. That's where we look at. If you look at today, we have over 10,000 employees, and over 60% are working on product development and research. So including the organization working on the Tencent Research Institute, which has 3 campuses in Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen.
Can you tell us, in particular for our online audience, what Tencent is, what Tencent does, the key products here in China? Obviously, everybody knows about QQ and so on, but I'm not sure about our online audience on TechCrunch TV and on Information Weeks TV.
Well, the biggest stuff is the IM platform. As of today, we have 1 billion registered user account. We have over 500 million active user account. And several weeks ago, we actually reached a big milestone, which was 100 million users online simultaneously.
100 million users at the same time.
At the same time, using the services. That's the big, really big platform for us, looking for how people communicate and socialize on the internet. Along with the IM platform, we have the QQ.com, which is I believe it's already the largest portal site in China, cover the online media and news stuff. Even today, I noticed we have Tencent Technology, QQ.com.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
One of our
Keji,
partner
right?
sponsors. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right. We also have the search engine. We call it Soso.com. And we have the PaiPai, which is the online commerce B2C, C2C stuff, and many young guys assume young guys play game a little more, and we have the gaming stuff, online entertainment, and also we have we call value-added online services, which pretty much about virtual goods and virtual kind of social commercial stuff. The other big piece is the mobile internet services. That's a big chunk, and also looking for more opportunity there.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Tencent is mostly known from the consumer standpoint for their instant messaging system, QQ, you were mentioning. You've been working at Microsoft, as you were mentioning. How does that? How could you distinguish QQ and MSN? Because QQ is definitely the #1 instant messaging system here in China.
I think that's a good question. If you look at how the Tencent company grew up, a little bit over 10 years, I think it's close to 12 years now for the history. And if you look back 10 years ago, there were so many players, small players, trying to start business in the IM space. And actually, the Tencent is also learning from the big ones called ICQ. I assume many people here still remember, or people online still remember ICQ.
Israeli,
right? So we kind of also in the gaming to look at how to build IM services, and by kind of timing passed by, you look at, again, many players cannot make money from the only purely online IM services. And that's where we started to think about how we can turn that around. And if you look at innovation, I think there's a big piece of innovation here is really how to translate or transform a free services by provide value-added services to the end user, and then you get money from your customers. So from there, we have that's the root of today. We call it online value-added services. It's like the membership. And once you have the membership, you have your kind of virtual image on the internet. You have different types, different sort of clothes or decoration of your virtual room, and there you see how the young generation, at that time pretty much young generation, is getting online and then socialize with their friends, their kind of real friends, kind of offline friends or online friends, and then build a bigger community. So that's where you see how the company really has the innovation way to translate kind of coming from the IM services to start build the bigger kind of umbrella as of today. So that's where I think where we're still looking for the IM as a core value for our customers and also for the company.
Among all the different innovations that you have been mentioning in e-commerce, in instant messaging and so on, and leveraging on your experience with the US market, as you said, you've been in the US for many years, which innovation from Tencent could be replicable outside of China, and in particular in the US, where basically you would have some kind of technological transfer from China to the rest of the world?
Well, that's an even harder question. So I think people who have been in China for years will have quite different understanding from people who are new to China market. There are quite different user experience requirement and the feeling of the internet. If you look at the Caixin kind of started last year and now still very hot. And then Facebook in US is another example of SNS-related services. I think there's some difference people can see from there is how for example, entertainment-oriented
Sorry to interrupt you, just for our online audience, Caixin 001, a company I was mentioning also in my opening speech, is actually the fastest growing SNS company here, is Facebook-like.
Okay, so that's where I think I just draw one example to see how the difference of similar services but different oriented or different types of services having drawing attention of the audience and then build bigger services around that. So that's where if you look back for Tencent, I think we are continue invest in many areas mentioned before, and also looking forward to continue in innovation. So for the overseas market, we also kind of open for that, but it will be cautious to look at how and what we can make the international market services kind of copy. I think it's hard to say copy, kind of more applicable to the different market. I think people may know we have a small US office. That's where we also have a little bit footprint to look at overseas market.
Right, and if I'm not mistaken, there's also a strategy of acquiring companies outside of China. You recently acquired a company in the US, and I think something also in Russia. I would like you to tell us more about what you're doing with the Research Institute, the Tencent Research Institute you were mentioning earlier.
Okay, that's my favorite part. So the Tencent Research Institute was the first one built by the local company in China for internet research. We have 3 offices in Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen. Today we have close to 300 people with kind of probably 3 years history. Now, I think the big difference for the lab from the other labs is that we are closing to the real customer and real product development. That's where we're looking for the 2 to 5 years technology innovation. We're looking for how really build the technology around customer needs, and then make really when people are talking about technology transfer, and there's always cost between technology and products. So that's where we want to make that short. We want to make the technology and user connect together easily and sooner. So in terms of the research area, we have the cloud computing, AI, data mining, we have multimedia, we have mobile services, kind of a little broad portfolio on the research side. We also have the product development center within the lab looking for incubation and really building product and deliver to the customer. We have the kind of covering mobile space, covering PC client and internet kind of cloud, really making the client and cloud connected, really make the services for our user, which is also, I call our strategy, which is one stop for online life.
I see. Without revealing too many secrets, although if you want to reveal some secrets here, be my guest, there's no problem. But I'd like to know which products in particular, which upcoming products Tencent is thinking of launching.
Well, we have quite a bigger pipeline in terms of the products, mostly driven by the research lab. So I think in the mobile space, we have the mobile the browser coming up late last year. We continue to improve that. In the PC space, we also have the media player, we have browser, we have the pinyin, kind of IME, the typing and IME released. In the coming months or coming years, I think there are a lot of stuff. Back to what we have mentioned before is that how you're really looking for the customer value and really build PC, mobile, and online kind of together as a services. So we are looking for, if you specifically want to ask some products, we are just reached some tools on the labs.qq.com. For people who are interested, please visit labs.qq.com to look at our new stuff coming out.
Okay. I'd like to get your views on where you see Tencent in 5 years from now, both in China and internationally.
So I think we talk about the opportunities in the internet-related space. I would say 5 years ago, if you look at Tencent at that time, today, we really, in the past 5 years, built another stage based on the IM platform. As of today, we have big portfolio of online media, entertainment, mobile, and search ads and commerce stuff. I think continually in the next 5 years, we are continue investment in these areas. But there are two factors I would say are the big drivers. One is really continue to focus on provide value for customers, for our users. So that's always the root for our success, if I would say. The second is continue innovation. So some numbers I can kind of brief is that Tencent has filed over 2,000 patents in the past years, and over 500 already awarded. So I think it's I don't know if it's the number one on the rank in the China internet company, but definitely it's in the top. So that's one factor to looking for us, and that's where if you look at the Tencent Research Institute, continue to driving and leading in this space, really innovate. And if you connect the two pieces, is that there's another interesting point is that how really technology and user to make the connection and then to make success here. Thank you.
Okay, and what about the international strategy of all of that? Because I understand that all this research is mainly based for China. Could you disclose a little bit about which of these products could be applied to the international market?
Yeah, I think this is continue to be a place for us to look at. We are open for looking for the international market, but we really need to understand the market, understand the user. So that's where we start to try to get a little bit into the market and feel and see how we can go. So still, this is a quite open question. And if you look at the internet space, things are changing so fast. 5 years, I think it's still a quite long time as of today. So I think there are lots of opportunities there, and we will continue and open for it. But fundamentally, we want to serve our customers and users in China well. And also, as today, even today, our QQ user, many are from international, kind of they log in and open a register account in our services. So that we are serving international apps today, but we'll continue looking for it. Thank you.
My last question actually is not related directly to Tencent. But still, it has some connection. Tencent is one of the most entrepreneur-minded big companies in China, like Google is or has been in the past in the US. So, and you've been so you are right at the heart, at the core of the entrepreneurship ecosystem, with the position you have today, and you've been with a very entrepreneur-minded company, Microsoft, for a few years back in Seattle. So I would like to know if you had any recommendations or opinions for Westerners, entrepreneurs, for instance, who are in the US, who are watching us right now on TechCrunch TV or Information Week TV, and who are wondering, well, I just sold my last company, and now what's next? Should I create another company in Silicon Valley, or should I go to China and start everything over?
Well, I think a lot of people here are experts in kind of to answer this question better than me. But personal experience at Microsoft and Tencent, and also the years in US and past year, several years in China, I would say back to what I mentioned before is that so there are lots of opportunities, and people believe there are opportunities, but how to make the opportunity as real. I think really the core is looking for the customer. I think that's still the number one, the most important. You can think of a lot of things, but where is the value for customer is really driving the success of entrepreneurship and business and whatever ideas you have. Still there are lots of other factors. You need to have money, and maybe more or less. You need to have 关系, right? You need to have experience.
If we start talking about guanxi now, I think it's going to take another half an hour, and I'm not sure that our on-site participants are going to be happy, because they're hungry, probably, right?
I guess so.
No, okay, so let's do that. Let's talk about guanxi. Okay.
I think this deal, you need to be focused on something and make it happen, and then continue focus really finding the value for customer. Back to the story of QQ, I think this is a really good one. Although it's back 10 years ago, even today, I think the principles still apply.
All right, so thank you so much, Hugo, for your time and for your insights.
Thank you. My pleasure.